Most people won't do this work. Most people won't do what it takes. If you're here, you're meant to hear this message. Most people won't do this work, not because they're lazy, not because they're broken or they don't want to change, but because it asks for too much. Too much heart, courage, willingness to go against everything they've been taught is normal. Too much commitment to stop living in autopilot. And I don't say that with judgment. I say that just with this recognition. Because I know what it looks like when someone is almost there, but still stuck in the loop. And that loop is very subtle. It doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like they're highly functioning. They're getting through the days. You're working, or you're getting through your days. You're learning. You're improving slightly. You might even be healing. You're getting through your days. You're working. You're staying busy. Maybe you're saving a bunch of reels and coming back or trying to come back to them, but you never do. Internally, you feel the same, right? Tired, full, scattered, very unclear, and full of anxiety. And here's what I really want to name today. This isn't just like manifesting. This is not just getting healthy. This isn't just another routine or another reset or a plan. This is deeply rooted work. I hope you're still with me. I'm here to calm your nervous system. I want to help you with your attention span, and I want to help your nervous system. I'm not here to deliver things and yap 100 miles an hour. But anyway, back to the message. This is deeply rooted work, the kind of work that really shakes things loose. Not to destroy your life, but to clear what is not truly there to serve you and your highest. This is the work. So what is true can actually come forward, because without that clearing, we stay swirling. And I want you to notice that word, swirling. We fill every space, every hour, every gap, every silence with go, go, go. We add more programs, more healing, more podcasts, more systems to create busyness in our family and our children and ourselves. So it's like we're all still coexisting together, but there's no like real synergistic healing going on. If everyone's busy, go, go, go all the time, there's not enough time to really root into what it is you feel called to do. We look at ourselves from every angle and we want to fix everything, but we never really do. And then we wonder why we still feel overwhelmed, because we're in the autopilot. We're just in that swirl, in that loop. Like, you're a human doing all these things. You're not a human being. What is it a human doing instead of a human being? What does that look like? It looks like scrolling, saving posts to come back to that you never come back to because you've already forgot about them, watching short videos from multiple different people with multiple different opinions. So you're in analysis paralysis at this point, and you feel overwhelmed and you've lost all hope. Or you feel like you had a little dopamine snack, so you feel good for a little bit. When you're a human doing, you're collecting information, you're collecting healing, you're collecting the next thing that will finally make it click. And it feels productive. It feels like you're working on your life, but you're not really in your life. You're circling it. You're observing it. You're preparing for it, but never really taking action. You're trying to learn and absorb it, but you really can't learn without action. You have to implement. And that's the quiet trap, because from the outside, it could look like growth. Internally, nothing is landing. You haven't learned to embody. You still don't have clarity. You're no grounded direction. Your health is still going up and down. You're very inflamed, and your children are inflamed. And there's no clarity. And over time, that creates really a specific kind of exhaustion. It's not just like a physical tiredness, but so much mental noise. And emotional suppression and fullness, a sense that there is no space left inside you, like your life is full but not fulfilled. And this is where people start thinking they need more discipline, more structure, more information. Just one more reel of information, one more 60-second video will just finally click, and my life will magically change. So my message is not very complicated, so it's not very sexy or very catchy or very shiny syndrome. We all get that shiny object syndrome where if it looks super complicated or magical or out of reach, then we believe it more than we do the simplified versions, the versions that actually are going to get us results. So I'm here to tell you, back to the basics: less input, less noise, less consumption, less trying to think your way into clarity, because clarity doesn't come from overload. Clarity comes from space, some silence, and space only comes when you start subtracting what is not yours, what's not serving you. So let me ask you something just really directly. Where are you consuming more than living? Where are you preparing more instead of participating? Where in life are you waiting to feel ready instead of simply beginning? We all know that we're never ready, because your life is not asking you to be more informed. It's asking you to be more present. And I want to be really honest with you. This kind of work is not comfortable, because it slows you down enough that you can no longer outrun what you've been avoiding. But it also is the place where everything starts to change and unfold and blossom, not because you force it, but because you finally stop filling every gap and let yourself actually be. And when that happens, something really simple starts to return. Your creativity comes back, your confidence comes back, your direction stops feeling so blurry, not because you've added more, but because you finally cleared enough space to hear yourself again. And you don't become someone new. You become available to who you already are. So if you take anything from today, let it be this: you don't need more information. You don't need more embodiment. You don't need more busy work. You need more presence, and you need a container to keep that focus, because we have to retrain our brains at this point, because it's hard to stay focused, believe me. And this path is a lonely one. So it does require a community to sustain. So that's what I'm building here. So I'm glad you're here, by the way, and I hope I'm not ruffling your feathers too much. You just need more presence, one moment at a time, one choice that changes the trajectory of your life or your day. Let's just say your day. One less layer of noise at a time, because your life is already happening. The only question is, are you living it? Are you taking action on building a better life, a healthier life, a more fulfilling life? Or are you just watching it, or watching other people live theirs and just wishing you could do the same? I'm kind of going to jump a little bit here. So we want to talk about input, body, nervous system, consciousness. This is what I call like the rooted reality. This is the loop that is creating your life, whether you're aware of it or not. So input, everything starts here. Input: what are you watching? What are you feeding yourself? What are you drinking? Input is everything you consume: food, information, environmental stress, toxins, whatever, relationships, media, your internal dialogue. And most people don't realize this is the only part they are actively trying to control. And what you input becomes your biology. Every bite of food, every conversation, every scroll is shaping your internal state. Your body takes that input and converts it into chemistry. It could be inflammation or energy. It could be clarity, fatigue, regulation, or dysregulation. This is why the body is not separate from mindset work. It is literally the foundation. It is what sustains it. Manifestation, creating the life you want, has to start with your foundation. Your body is the processor of your reality. So your nervous system is actually your interpretation system. So like your nervous system decides, hey, am I safe? Is this dangerous? Can I expand? Or do I need to protect myself? So like your nervous system is your perception filter. And now we go a little deeper for like consciousness. You can think of consciousness as the field of awareness. You're experiencing life through this. And your nervous system determines what you can actually access clearly inside that field. So really it isn't just what's happening, it's what you are capable of perceiving. Your consciousness is filtered through your biology. And then we get here, the reality of it. Your thoughts, emotions, behaviors, relationships, opportunities. And most people are trying to change it from this layer right here, when nothing underneath has changed yet. That is what I mean by rooted. Reality is the output, not the starting point. When you connect it all, input becomes or goes in your body. Your body shapes it. Your nervous system shapes it. Your nervous system filters your consciousness, and your consciousness creates your reality. So the quality of your thoughts is determined by the quality of input. This is the part most manifestation teachers skip, in my opinion, and what I've read and watched. This is why people can do all the mindset work, all the affirmations, the journaling, the visualizing, and still feel stuck because they're trying to override a system that hasn't been regulated and hasn't been nourished. You don't change your life by forcing new thoughts. You change your life by changing the system producing your thoughts. And the quality of information, the quality of input does matter. And of course, affirmations matter. But I'm just saying there's a huge missing piece for the average person out there that is in chronic stress and inflammation and nervous system overwhelm. Truly, like what you feed your body and your mind creates your mindset. You don't need to force a new reality. You need to build a system that naturally creates one. Start with the body. It's very simple, and it's something that's going to sustain you for the rest of your life. And once you do that, everything else begins to shift. And I only learned this from my own journey. My journey started when I was 22 years old, and I had 2 young daughters. One had autoimmune disease, juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and I started doing a lot of research when it comes to healing the body naturally. I had no idea what I was doing. And I've come a long way because I thought almond milk was healthy. So we switched from dairy to almond milk. Didn't know anything about gluten, didn't know anything about the childhood health visits. But just within that year or so, I became sick with an autoimmune disease as well, and I dove deeper into all of this. So I started with my body. It shook my world, like not having answers and being at the end of my rope, either having to start injections, immunosuppressants, or try to figure out a better way, a natural way, before I jumped to that. And of course, my doctor didn't want me to do that, but I told him, I have it in my mind and in my heart. I feel something tugging at me. And I come from a history of, like, my family, none of us knew about this natural healing. None of us knew about herbalism. So this is all from me taking initiative, radical action, and having that complete leap of faith that I am going to restore and try everything I can naturally before I agree to starting an immunosuppressant at such a young age that can cause cancer. So that was my biggest concern. I have 2 young daughters, and I want to be the healthiest, strongest version I can. And that's, obviously I started with my body. And what led me to just my only goal was to just restore my health and my daughter's health, both of them, and just make us stronger and resilient. Over time, people were like, "Oh my gosh, you look so good. How are you doing this all naturally?" And I began, I'm embodying and I'm walking the walk, and I'm just sharing my knowledge and wisdoms with people that all of these knowledge, all of this has been lost in the Western society, especially in America. We were severed from a lot of ancestral wisdom and ways. And I know for a fact I'm here to rebuild that and reignite that flame that has been lost. There's so much ancient knowledge and wisdom that will change the world. I will change the world one step at a time. And there's many of us out there. So, I started with my body. I'll go back to that. And then it cleared up. I was like, oh, there's some clarity here. This is my soul's path to teach and embody this and show people how easy it can be. It's simple. Of course, it's hard in society, so we have to be really defiant. You have to be okay with going against the grain. You have to be okay with being alone or being an outcast for a little bit. There are so many of us out there that we're actually building communities that support you during this, and that's why I'm here all of these years embodying this and never quitting on it, because I know it's in here. It's in here, and it won't go away until I share it with the world, because the knowledge that I have, that I've embodied to be pharmaceutical free for this long, to no longer have infections, that's huge. And that's something, as a nurse, I became a nurse because I love to care for people. That's just what I love to do. I love to nurse the sick. I love to make them feel better. I love to see them eating and feeling better. And that's what I do now. And I just do it in a different way, not at the bedside. But anyway, I don't want to keep this video too long, but if you're here at this very end, I want to thank you so much for showing up for yourself today. Thank you for allowing your nervous system to rest and watch a whole video that is longer than 3 minutes. I mean, this is really good. I want you to be proud of you. And I really hope that this message ignites that spark and that flame within you, because you are here for a purpose. And I want to see you feel better so you can have that clarity and confidence to show up. Whatever your work, whatever your soul's purpose is, that's what I want to see in the world. But anyway, see y'all soon. Bye.